here's an example of lighting. So I was on a hike, and I came to this place. It looks like a horror movie.
Oh my
It
god,
got
it
grayed out
does.
and everything. That was just the lighting that just made it seem this area.
Just put Slenderman.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you got a blockbuster.
Yep.
That's good I get murdered there.
Yep.
This is so creepy.
Nice house.
I'm still
I think.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello, hello. Good morning, Everfree.
Hello.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good, doing good. Anyone a little tired? Maybe? Get your coffee yet? Well, we're only like a third of the way through this thing, right? So who's excited for day 2? All right. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. I am very excited for this next panel. There's a few folks waiting backstage who were a really integral part of what allowed an event like this to exist in the first place. And we'll get to talk to some of them. We'll get to hear a few memories. So we'll go ahead and get started on our retrospective for 10 years of Everfree Northwest. Please join me in welcoming first to the stage, Royal Coat. We also have Bajati. And Mark Varian. All right. Well, you're here already, but yes, for those, some of you may have noticed that in the schedule there's a misprint. The time for this panel, actually you're right, this is good to point out. In the print schedule it shows it only going until 11, like as a 1 hour thing. It's actually an hour and a half. So we've got quite a bit of time to discuss what we're here to discuss, so feel free to stick around. We will be doing Q&A at some point. We've got a microphone set up here in the middle for when we start doing that. And there's a lot that goes into putting an event like this together. I certainly know that from the work that I've been doing, but these guys know it especially well because they're the ones who built the thing in the first place. So, yes, another round of applause for them. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to silence my phone before I forget.
All cell phones and pagers, please.
Yes.
We use pagers anymore. Please.
My dad used to have one.
It's not the 90s.
The con isn't that old. Come on, guys.
I know King County Metro still uses pagers.
Fair enough.
Do a 90s thing.
All right, so I have up here 3 of the founders, really, of Everfree Northwest, and some of them you may remember. We did a panel like this last year, but Mark Harian in particular, I haven't seen you in, I don't even know the last time I saw you, but it's about 5 or 6 years, something like that. Yeah. So, what's new with you?
Well, hello everybody. Well, what's new with me?
So I do introductions.
Yeah, seriously,
that's probably a good idea.
So I guess I'm holding the mic, so I'll start. My name's Mark Harian, and I'm one of the original co-founders of Everfree Northwest, and also I served as co-chair for I think 2 or 3 of the years that I was involved with the convention, and I also served as board president for the first 5 years. So.
Thanks for joining us. Royal Coat, you want to give a little intro?
Yeah,
Mic check, please.
Should be up.
Hello. I'm Royal Coat. I was on the board for Pexide when we first started, and was the event coordinator for the first year, sort of acting chair for the first year when where we were all sort of acting everything, and then chairman for 2 years after that. And yeah, that's me.
Thanks for joining us. Bajati? All right. Oh, this one. Yeah, it's working. Hi, I'm Bajati, another one of the co-founders. I believe there were 7 of us when we first started. Chairman for the first year, vice chair second year, dipped back into staff and hospitality year 3, came back to co-chair, I want to say 2017. I don't know if anyone knows that answer. It must have been 2017. And yeah, I mean this event, it's still going. Can you guys believe this? Thanks for coming. We're here. So 10 years that this con has been running, and I thought maybe one of the first things to do is maybe take a look back at some of our memories through the years. So I think we have a video that we will be able to watch. Some of you will have seen this. We also played it during opening ceremonies, but I don't think anyone up here has seen it yet. So this might be fun. We'll give them a moment to get that queued up. This, by the way, was a video put together by Morgan, who's on our staff, based on submissions that all of you sent in. We actually put up a form online to submit clips and photos from previous Everfrees, and the result is this video. So, crowdsourced nostalgia, in a sense.
Is this video going to be posted anywhere?
We'll probably post it, yeah. Oh, here we go.
I'll upload it.
This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to kick off Everfree Northwest.
You remember Everfree 2012 when we went upstairs to like the room? You can see it clear as day.
Well, my favorite part about that was you had to take an elevator to get to the concert. So there's the entire convention. Every main panel was in that room. So
Fire
like,
marshals actually showed up.
Saber, you want to know something weird? Back in 2012, I walked into this convention and met you for the very first time. But he's going the wrong way. After the hotel's that way. Oh, let's go. You're right. It's actually over here, up this hill. No, it's that one. Right. As we referenced in past convention vlogs, what used to be a Holiday Inn, up there, the first pony stock was taking place. In the windows, we looked out upon the land and said, what would be the future for pony conventions?
I look so young. To the first annual Everfree Northwest.
That 7-Eleven was a lifesaver.
Never forget the hill.
I remember telling them, there were like 1,000 people here. They didn't believe us. EQI, very young B-Pen.
EQI was awesome. Yeah.
Good bird.
I remember seeing that in one of the MLP videos. There was like Celestian Superman and whatnot.
Everyone's so smart. Love the double tree in here. And then we're here, and hey. Enjoyed the concert last night? Yeah?
Yes.
So tonight. Draft is here, by the way.
Realizing all we didn't know. These young eyes looking all around for something bigger than we could see. But no time could ever slow us down, drawn by the promise of eventually. And now the time is right, stepping out of sight. You finally found the way to free yourself. I realized that I needed this road, I needed to know if I needed me.
The Derby. Jump Burns. And that's it.
Thank you guys for putting that together. Say, was it Morgan?
Morgan. Yeah.
Morgan, thank you, Morgan. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Holy crap.
Gosh, I'm gonna cry. There we go.
This early in the panel.
Yeah, we haven't really even gotten into it much, but yeah, lots of different things to unpack there, I'm sure.
I'm honestly not surprised that I didn't see me anywhere because whenever we're working at the con, we're like all behind the scenes in the
Yes.
back doors.
Yeah, that first year was Discord. Discord was with us.
Discord, yeah, and we didn't even know him yet at that point. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
it's true.
2012. So I wanted to say, Simul, thank you so much for having us back. Thank you so much for inviting us back home, because that's where we are right now.
Yeah,
And,
I'm so glad you could make it.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me.
It's an honor and a pleasure, and also the first Everfree that I am in casual attire, and you get to wear the jacket. So,
Yeah, you know, I this jacket actually is it's like Korean or something. It has like the straight collar. I always thought that was a nice look. But yeah, thank you very much.
I gotta say, it's been an incredible journey. Like, you know, I think we were talking, and I think one of the most amazing things is when you do something and it outlives you. You know, we started this years ago, and now it's continuing to roll forward without us, and that's something you can be proud of. You know, I think the others feel the same way.
and I couldn't have said it better. I mean, this from year one. I think that the first thing I want to say is thanks most of all to all of you, because it's always been about the attendees. It's not been about us, and it isn't about us. You know, I don't think that this convention was just fine without us, and we couldn't have asked for more than that. We couldn't have asked for better. So thank you for continuing to come. I see faces in the audience I've seen since, God, I think year one, and it's the fact that you continue to come back a decade later with all that's happened in the world, with all that's happened in our lives. You know, me 10 years older, 20 pounds heavier, and, you know, maybe a little wiser, but like, you know, by the grace of God, we're still here. So, I mean, let's have it for you guys, seriously.
I gotta say, I don't know if you guys remember this conversation, but the first year when we were planning stuff, we were like, if we get 300 people to come to this thing, we will have done ourselves well. And we put the tickets on sale, and it was like, what do you mean we sold out in half an hour?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. That's a great jumping off point. So so if this is the 10th anniversary of Everfree Northwest, of the convention, the first convention. But a lot of you might notice, especially on this flag that shows our starting date, it's actually, for us, it's been closer to 11 years because we started this process in the fall of 2011. And for that, I'm going to let you take it away because you were pony zero for this entire
How
thing.
does con happen?
Yeah, I mean,
how is con formed?
that's honestly a wild story because a lot of it is just kind of some blind ambition. Like you need someone with initiative, people with just the ability to do jobs for free. And yeah, you need a fair amount of crazy to make something like this happen. And I think we matched a group to hit all of those boxes. And as far as like the origins go, I know the ambition that I brought to the table is coming from a couple online communities prior to My Little Pony really taking off in this generation. One of those being, if anyone knows the Vlog Brothers, John and Hank Green. If you've seen Crash Course, that's those guys as well. I was kind of tangentially involved in that Nerdfighteria community prior to this, so I saw in the early days, when you start to get that momentum online, I realized, wow, this has the chance to go beyond just small niche internet community to become more of a fandom, something that can support itself, something where people need to start seeing each other in real life and make these connections to keep that momentum growing and growing. So early, I think it was around February of 2011, when I first really jumped into the show whole hog. And then a few months later, started one of the first meetup groups. It was the SeaTac Bronies meetup group. We had the SeaTac area, Portland Bronies, and the NYC group on the East Coast. And those are the first three to really get any sort of traction online, at least in the pony news sphere. I'm sure others were also propping up in colleges and whatnot. But the first big event we had, summer of 2011, was down in Portland, and as far as I could tell online, and I mean, the guys on the East Coast might fight me on this, but I think we were the first event to exceed 100 people. It was like an organized 2-day event. We had people down there vending. I don't know if it hit city regulations or not. I wasn't paying. I was a little young to be paying attention to that kind of stuff, to be honest.
Was that at the Red Lion? Was that at the Red Lion?
We bounced around. It was an event down in Portland. We met up at Pioneer Square, Courthouse Square or something, and then we walked the city going to a few of the local landmarks. And
These were Northwest Brony Fest. Okay.
Yeah, so
that's Northwest Brony Fest. I never said the name.
But Johnny, I didn't know that it was a 2-day event because for a while we prided ourselves on being the first multi-day My Little Pony event, but turns out Brony Fest was the first one.
Well, I'll correct you on that. I think we were the first established 3-day full convention.
Right.
Prior to that, there might have been a couple other 2-day events, so I don't want to step on their toes.
So there's two things happening. We've got Northwest Brony Fest, which is sort of a proto Everfree, in a sense, that happened down in Portland as sort of Northwest Bronies converging on one spot. And it's sort of out of that the idea of Everfree came into fruition.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the East Side starting their meetups with the NYC group that grew into BronyCon, and they grabbed that name early just because of the NYC.
Right, I remember when that was still capitalized.
BronyCon, which was really nice. Good wordplay there. So yeah, Northwest Brony Fest was the first time we realized there's some demand for this. People want to go to an organized event, see other people who are into the show, buy merch, draw pony chalk drawings on the ground. I wish I had some of those pictures with me right now. I wasn't quite prepared for it. But that kind of sparked it on my side. And meanwhile, I was at UW, and we started a Friendship is Magic group that met every week. And that group actually, I think, most of them ended up volunteering to staff the first Everfree. And most of those, I think, continue to staff year after year after year. Some of our core staffing from the beginning. So that's where I jumped into it, and eventually we hit a Halloween meet where we all got together. But I think before we get quite that far, Markarian has his intro. And stuff.
So that's kind of where I think both me and Royal come in. I the very shortly before. So going back to like how I got just really into fandom was like it was March of 2011, and my partner at the time was watching it on his computer, and I'm like, what is this? This is God. It's done in Flash. The eyes are so big. What are you watching? And I'm like, it's like My Little Pony. It's like, are you serious? It's a Flash cartoon of My Little Pony. Okay. And then and I watched one episode and I didn't know how to feel. And then the next episode, which I think was the current one at the time, was Suited for Success. And I watched that episode and I said, whatever this is, I want to be a part of it. and I was so captivated that I knew that I wanted to just immerse myself in it. And I think all of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, I watched the show for a while. I did a couple, fan songs. I did one called Monument that people liked. There was a convention called Rainforest that doesn't exist anymore.
I know about that.
Its reputation now precedes it. They decided to have I do know what it was. They decided to have a brony meetup, and it was going to be in a room about maybe less than a fifth of this size, of 40 people. They said, okay, they designated 40 people for this hotel, and they said, okay, this is going to be the My Little Pony meetup. 300 people crowded up against the door, and they had to move everyone to the main stage in a huge hurry. They had to move the entire panel to the main stage. I think they had to cancel whatever was going on that time.
Oh my God!
Because there were 300 furries / bronies that really wanted to get together, watch the show, and eat fried chicken. And, and honestly, the last part of it, the free food was definitely an incentive. But
how does one eat fried chicken in a fursuit? That sounds challenging.
See, that is something that, very carefully or not. But I saw all these people and I said, this needs its own convention. This could have its own convention. So I remember going to this Halloween meetup at University of Washington, which is where...
Giggle at the Ghostly.
Giggle at the Ghostly, that's right, yeah.
Yep. And comparatively, I think I have a very bland introduction to the show. Mostly that I just found it. I think it might have been the music. I think much to Markarian captivated me in a lot of ways, but it was the message and the themes as well for the show. And I went to Brony Fest Northwest, showed up there, and was like, this is a culture I can get into. And they're good people. And then I think, and this is all sort of serendipity, I think I live on the east side, and I heard and I saw the Giggle at the Ghostly's party, and I was like, well, I'll go to that. And I saw something that said, we're going to get together and talk about a convention event of some kind, large scale. And I had enforced PAX, and I was really interested in cons. So I said, can I join you? Can I come up and be involved? And so I went over there, hadn't been to UW ever, walked in, was like, there's this group of people, and I walk up and said, hey, I'd like to be part of this. And they said, go away. And then I think it was Markarian actually that said, no, that's this guy that we wanted to talk to, that we
Where is Bajati? Who's Bajati? I want to talk to Bajati.
And said, no, this is this guy that was had mentioned online, because everybody else had kind of coalesced earlier or something like that. And I joined in, and my story with My Little Pony is full of serendipity and a lot of going into the future. But that was one of those moments that kind of defines and changes your life, I guess. I don't know where my life would be right now if I hadn't joined up with Everfree. So that split-second decision is hinges a ton of stuff, a ton of history.
Yeah. I guess it kind of comes down to that one Halloween meetup that the Jotty put on with was it Jordan? Who's the other guy? Who's the other guy that's doing that with you? Jalen. Yes. I'm sorry.
I couldn't remember the name until just now.
Must be the one with that one photograph.
Yes.
That
circulated.
Has anyone heard of?
Has anyone seen this photograph? It is infamous. But we did a group photo, which was taken on my camera on a tripod of all of us together, and 4chan decided to give all of us names. Raise your hand if you've seen this photo. Okay. So I should have introduced myself as Afro Samurai, and this is my friend Average Joe and
Gunter, Prince of Thieves.
So
I still own the Gmail address for that, by the way.
If front of house is able to find that somehow and put it up from Google or something,
Please do.
you could search for The Burdened, because I know that was Jalen with the incomplete, the Proto Celestia costume.
Celestia costume.
There was
the bike helmet one.
It was I think it was the picture for the Encyclopedia Dramatica
It was
bronies.
the ED article for Bronies was
For
this
many
picture that I
years.
took. Yeah.
I think it's no longer that way, but it was for many years. It was after 2011.
So here's a lesson to you all, kiddies: scrub the EXIF data if it's going anywhere, because it might end up on Encyclopedia Dramatica.
Yeah, I think the most memorable. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the unnamed version. And for those who think you might know what we're talking about, the most recognizable part of the photo is an unfinished quadruped cosplay of Celestia.
Yes.
And if you saw the labeled version of 4chan gave it, this was the Burdened.
Yes,
You might have-
that also made an appearance in our video a moment ago too,
Yeah.
for a brief complete version.
Yeah.
I remember I think I first encountered that costume at Emerald City 2012. Yes, the TwiQuest meetup. That's what they did that.
TwiQuest. So TwiQuest, they which group ended up putting that together? That was the.
There it is. There's the photo. There's the photo. Thank you. That's the one.
So this can be considered one of the origins of this convention. It's weird to say that and look at this photo at the same time, but
It has such a je ne sais quoi quality with the lighting, the front flash. It has that vintage, 2000s kind of thing.
so we probably have 4 or 5
Yeah.
or 6 board members that ended up being board members of the for the backing
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
Jared.
This is where it started.
There's a Galileo Jared.
Yeah, Jared
Galileo.
Miles, Galileo, right there.
The neon
Head of staff
Yeah.
for a while.
in neon green hair there.
So one challenge with this event, just as an interesting side note, is because this was a UW club meeting, we managed to get approval to have outside people join, but the rule that we were given was we have to have a student there for every non-student, which is a challenge. We had to hold back the floodgates of the local community, be like, no. Wait until we get our numbers up. And I'm not sure if we kind of fudged the numbers a little bit, because it's not like we had to directly report it, but we tried our best. And it's tough, because again, this is following the Rainforest meet, where oops, we quintupled the expected people, or sort of more than that. It was 10-fold.
Yeah, that was a recurring theme back then. It's okay, well, we'll get enough space for, this many Bernies, and, hope they'll, oh my God.
Yeah, that leads back to the, we'll sell 300 tickets and, we'll sell out the entire convention in half an hour, and then take some unprecedented steps to obtain more space.
So yeah, and to that end, that this led us to, hey, let's meet and actually talk about this. So I think it was after this that we met at my place.
Because I think that first meeting we had is when we actually decided to incorporate. That would have been November 6th.
Yes, November 6th, 2011.
November 6th, 2011. Yeah.
So that's basically the incept date, as it were, for Everfree Northwest, or Pegasi the
Pexi
phenomenon.
Inc. The 7 yeah. That was it's been a wild ride. since
It
then.
has been crazy since we sat on my living room floor and we thought of what could we call this convention. And we had a bunch of names. We wrote them on little chits of paper and we threw them into a hat and we ruffled around. And I think one of them was what, like PonyCon Northwest or Seattle Con.
That makes it sound like we chose it on random. This was definitely an
No,
intentional.
it wasn't. It wasn't
actually
it was
AI
not
generated.
random. We had like some good contenders, but we like wanted to like be fair. So.
Do you recall any of the like close seconds? Like,
Honestly,
if it
I
wasn't
don't.
Everfree, would
No,
have
I really don't.
Because as soon as Everfree Northwest came up, like it has the forest element that we like because we're a very foresty area, and then Northwest is a very handy thing to put in your name, especially when there's a online community and people need to know like where you exist.
Where is it? Yeah.
Also EFR too, because we wanted to make sure we weren't stepping on their hooves.
I think they were establishing around the same time, and if we had known that, we might have gone a different direction with our name, honestly.
Yeah, we like that similarity was completely by an accident, if I recall correctly. But Everfree was the one that we've kind of fell in love with. Like it was, it fit, and then
It was perfect.
we just kind of didn't look back, I guess.
I also don't think that it was trademarked by Hasbro at the time, because
I think that was part of it.
That was part of what went with the decision too. So like, and now that we have this, it's prior art, so they probably can't trademark it because of us. So.
You're welcome, Hasbro.
Speaking of copyrights,
If they do try to get that trademark, you can ask for a little bit of money for us to change it.
Oh yeah, stand up, Royal. Actually, this.
Oh,
so
yes.
this is a shirt from year one. This is when the shirts were actually done by Wheel of Fine. Anyone remember Wheel of Fine? Back in the day. Yeah.
So there are multiple, spot all of the trademark violations on this shirt. Because we're like, you know what? We want the main six and we want Seattle Space Needle. And you know what? We are just dumb enough to put that on a shirt, and we were. And here it is.
So I want to relate it to the Space Needle on our shirt. When we started holding board meetings, were they initially at the con? We were initially your
You were at
house.
the Space Needle.
But then eventually we stared meeting at Jigsaw. One of these board meetings, I believe, we had someone come up to us and say, "I love what you're doing. I am what is it? Legal expert of some." An intellectual property
IP
attorney,
lawyer.
which was very, very, very handy for a convention that needed to kind of skirt all of the
thread that needle.
Ride the line.
Yeah, it's difficult when you're an event based on one specific IP because you can't be like we are the My Little Pony events.
There's really only other one example that comes to mind of something like that, and that's Trekkies.
Yeah.
A